Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm excited. I was talking to Cathy backstage when it was just me and Cathy, and I missed our 3-year anniversary. So our 3-year anniversary was March 3rd. So about 3 weeks ago was 3 years that I've been doing this show, and I've missed one Tuesday in 3 years. So I wish I'll have to catch it next March 3rd. 3-3. I should be able to remember that. So tonight we are joined by Dagny Flying Pig Thrifts beneath me. Dagny has been on with us a few times before. And we also have Catty Corner to me, Cathy from the Kitschy Cat. I did not tell Cathy I am doing this. I'm going to start now. And my moderators, if you can push this throughout the show, Cathy's only about 250 away from 1,000 subscribers, guys. We get 400 to 500 in this chat. If 200, I have chills. If 250 of you can subscribe to her tonight, she will hit 1,000. Yeah, and that would be amazing. So if my mods can keep an eye on that for me, let's get Cathy to 1,000 subscribers tonight. That would be amazing. That would be perfect. Thank you, Mark. Mark just dropped her channel link. And I have as well. Mark, not that many times. Mark is spamming the chat now with Cathy's channel.
Thank you.
We got it. Yay. Thank you guys for subscribing to her. I'm going to make Dagny big first and then Miss Cathy. And lady. You've been doing your own lives. You've been big with your hubby. You can
there's usually someone here.
So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. If you guys don't know them, the links to everybody's channels are down in the description. Whether Dagny wants it or not, here's Dagny.
I feel like it should go back further. I am Dagny. I am Flying Pig Thrifts. You can see me on my YouTube channel, and I sell on eBay currently at the moment. A little foreshadowing. So it's great to be back here with Kat, and I'm excited for tonight's show.
Yay! Here's Miss Cathy.
Hi, I'm Cathy. My channel is the Kitschy Cat, and right now I am solely doing live sales on my channel, but I will be in the future doing shop with me type videos or haul videos. I'm hoping to just get a better camera and make that happen this year soon. So that will be coming. And I've been selling on eBay since I've been on eBay since 2002, but selling since 2003, so 20 years. Off and on. I've had my burnouts with it. So I've been in reselling for quite a few years and found YouTube in 2021, and here I am.
Perfect. Yeah, what was I going to say? Man, I thought of something and then I forgot. And it was something to do with something you said. I totally forgot. I don't know. I totally don't know. All right, guys. I highlighted. I don't normally do this, but Bebe was the first comment. She was 30 minutes early and said she's been lurking for 3 months and has learned, and she is here. So I'm glad you are here. And then second is my good friend who has been with me since the beginning, John from More Income. And he wants to know, what are the most common sizes of boxes you use for shipping? He said he needs to buy some boxes because he's been listing and selling a lot more stuff recently.
I get 90% of my boxes free from USPS, and it's 12-12-8 and the 776. You can get all the priority boxes for free, despite if you see them for sale at your local Goodwill. And then I get the coupon every quarter from eBay, and I spend that on the 16-12-8 boxes, and I'll buy one because then I feel like I'm kind of buying one, get one free, but you don't really. And then I buy 666 boxes from Walmart. And I also get free boxes from my post office. And yep.
Look who's in the house. Sorry to interrupt.
There you go. 12-12-8 are the best because you can also make them 12-12-12. And you can make the 776 boxes 10-7-7 or 12-7-7.
Julian is alive. Yes. Hi, Julian and Kayla, if you're with him. Glad to see you in here. All right. Sorry, Cathy.
That's okay. Same answers pretty much. But when I was solely selling on eBay, I would literally try to source boxes by the pound, YouTube by the pound, right? Goodwill by the pound, and free sources. But I do the 12 by 12 by 12. Oh my gosh, I never remember the dimensions, but usually 12 by 12 by 12 and smaller is what I need the most of. The bigger boxes, I find I don't need so much. So I have fewer of those. And I don't ever like getting caught in the trap of this item is way too small for this huge box. It's protected, but there's way too much packaging in here because you waste a lot of money that way. So I try to really pay attention to the size of the item that I sell.
So pretty much everything that they said, I use 4 by 6 by 8 a lot for smaller items that get shipped first class, and that's a really key one for me. Another trick too is I use a lot of poly bags, and I actually can bubble wrap the items, stick in a poly bag. It works just as a padded envelope. So that's another workaround if you have some awkward size items that you need to ship and you're not worried about the box, like it's a collectible item like a action figure or something like that where you're worried about the box. But I ship a lot of things in a poly bag wrapped in bubble wrap because you can manipulate the package size.
Yeah, we do the free ones too, the number 7s and number 4s, which Dagny mentioned. Also 1096s, which are almost like a board game shape. Those work for like some platters and things like that. And those are free too from USPS. And then I buy for first class, I buy 8 by 6 by 4. I use that for my hats and for smaller trinkets and like salt and pepper shakers. And then we get 8 by 8 by 8 because we have a lot of stuff. I don't want to use priority because it's under a pound, so it's cheaper to ship. So we do a lot of 8 by 8 by 8 boxes as well. And recently with the jewelry and my resin stuff, I've been buying 4 by 4 by 4 boxes for the same reason Cathy mentioned, my daughter today. I was like, just use the 8 by 6 by 4. They're actually cheaper than the 4 by 4. And she's like, no, then I have to put too much paper and bubble wrap. So the 4 by 4 by 4 are good if you have stuff you need to protect in a box as well. So, but a lot you guys can get free for sure from USPS if you're not getting it. If you're in the US, I see a lot of Canada people commenting that Canada does not give them free boxes.
And let people know that you need boxes, and you'll be surprised how your friends will have a pile of boxes. The people at the the post office, I take their trash, I call it, because they always have boxes for me. So let people know that you need boxes, and you'll be surprised.
Yeah, your family will come and and then you'll be like me and have a room full of boxes. It happens. Miss Lily said, if you could pick just one item, what elusive item do you really hope you will come across one day while sourcing?
I think I saw this question earlier, and I think it would be a fairy light. I know that there's Glassy Baby and Fire and Light. But I get really excited when I see a complete fairy light. So I think anything glass, like a stretch glass vase, I think I'd be excited to see. I think anything glass and shiny and pretty.
I have not come across a swung vase in the wild, like the big open mouth ones. So that'd be just exciting just to see in person. I kind of found one of my unicorns. I have it sitting next to me. I don't know if you want me to show it or not.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yes.
Okay. So there's been a couple times where I've had gut feelings about going to a specific Goodwill where my brain is like, you don't need inventory, don't go. And my gut's like, go. So it's happened twice. Once, this day I was going into the vase section and I'm like, they're going to be $3 for dollar store vases. And I was all, crabby about it. Well, this was also $3. And this is Fire and Light.
Is that the Goodwill that we saw each other at?
Yes. And the other time that I got a gut feeling, I ran into Dagny.
Yeah.
She
said, are you Dagny? And I said, yes, I am. Hi. Yeah. And this is in Maine.
Tell everybody how much that should sell for.
Oh, yeah.
The comps were upwards of $500 to $600 on this. That's the last time.
Guys.
Yeah. So, and I knew what it was right away because of the thickness, and I saw purple too, and I was like,
so pretty.
But I was like, is that what I think? Like, I literally bought it, covered it up in my car, put it in the trunk, and then came back in and continued to shop.
Nice. That's excellent.
So for me, it's one of those things where you always hear those stories or you see those news reports that someone found Mickey Mantle cards or like old comic books or stuff that's, very valuable for me. I've already found Mickey Mantle's cards at a garage sale one time. I found a sealed NES Castlevania game before, which I ended up selling for $9,000. So that was probably one of my biggest finds ever, which is crazy. But for me, it would just be like a super rare comic book from like the 60s, something like just first appearance of Spider-Man or something along those lines that was just buried in someone's attic. That would be the ultimate find. So,
I would like to find what Cathy found.
Yeah,
that was my answer. I have never seen nor touched Fire and Light. It is pretty hard to find, and it sells for amazing, amazing prices. So that I would like to find what she has down there. Miss Donna sent a $4.99 super chat and said, I learn something new every week from you all. Amazing hosts and guests. Thank you so much, Miss Donna. Here is your dolphin. Miss Patty wants to find Rod's wrestling figure at the Goodwill. She wants to find Rod.
That would be awesome. I have to get one first. So
Constant wants to know again, what was the name of that game, Rod?
We're all going to write it down.
Yeah, so for the Nintendo, original NES Nintendo is a game called Castlevania. So if everyone knows like Mario Brothers, Zelda, they're like the A level. This would be like a B level game. Castlevania has been around for 30-something years, but I found a sealed copy off Facebook Marketplace, and I was going to pick up a lot of video games, and I bought the whole lot, and the guy reached out to me about 2 weeks later and had 52 sealed games and just happened to have Castlevania sealed there. Yeah, I got like a sealed case of Game Boy, Donkey Kong 3. I got like 6 copies of that sealed. I got some Atari games. It was crazy, but when I actually sent it off to WADA Games, got it professionally graded, and at that point in time, there's only 26 copies that are graded in the world, and I just happened to have one, and mine came back as an 8.0, and there's only 12 copies that were graded higher than that one. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Ree wants to know, should I use eBay sold prices when pricing items for sale in an antique mall booth?
I would look at sold prices, and I also use WorthPoint to look at sold prices, because sometimes you'll have the only one in the world, and then because there's none on eBay, but if you go to WorthPoint, then you kind of get an idea of what prices are. So I don't know if it depends, because I guess you only sell it in an antique mall. So I would use definitely the sold prices and then look at WorthPoint too. I didn't think I would ever use WorthPoint as much as I do, and I use it every day. So I definitely would.
Yeah, I look at eBay sold prices, but then I think about the area that I live in and what people are interested in around here. So I try to cater it to that a little bit more. Although people around here seem to be into mid-century and things like that. So it kind of fits in with what's, trending right now. But yeah, I tried it. And then I also take into consideration, if I were walking in here, what I pay this for this. Those are my kind of criteria. And if it's, a little high on eBay and for some reason I brought it to the booth, yeah, I might bring the price down a tiny bit, but yeah.
So my general rule of thumb is anytime I sell anything off eBay, I always put it 15-20% lower than eBay prices, just because I have to pay fees anyway. I rather pass that savings on to my customers, but also too is take in consideration what the price point is at the place that you're selling at, because if there's 10 other vendors in there and they're all 25% below eBay and you're putting stuff right at eBay prices, you're probably not going to get many sales unless you have this one-off unique items. So take in consideration all the other vendors in there first, and then I would factor in, I would probably use WorthPoint, especially if you're using antiques, because you may have some one-off items that eBay only goes back 90 days for the last recent sale there. And that would at least I would use both of those in conjunction with the pricing point, and that helped give you at least a general idea of where to kind of price things at.
Yeah, and I don't have a booth, so I don't feel like I'm really qualified to answer that. I know if I go in there to buy it, I want it probably at least at half off of eBay if I'm the buyer. And my favorite booth at the antique mall close to me, which she closed, unfortunately, her stuff was all really cheap, and all she cared about was that she made money. But the antique mall told me she made the most money out of the whole mall. So if you price it lower, I feel like you could move a lot more if you can get a lot of inventory. But I agree with Cathy. I would look at the prices around you, because one of the things that kind of irks me is if stuff is eBay price, but you're catering only to a local market, where on eBay you're catering to a worldwide market. So I don't feel like the prices I would say Rod had a good point with 20% off because you're paying it in fees. I would go even further, probably 30 to 40% off. That's just my opinion on the buyer side. And I know Yvonne's in the chat, Yvonne Thrifty Rich. They did a booth talk video a couple weeks ago. So maybe check that out on Yvonne's channel. It was all talk about booths, and all with people who have booths. So check that out as well. Miss Julianne sent a $10 super chat and said, thanks for all the great tips. You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Whoops. Oh, Miss Phyllis sent a $10 super chat too and said, this is my must-see video each week. I've learned so much here. Thank you so much, Miss Phyllis. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. We love you guys hanging out with us every Tuesday. Like I said, I've missed one Tuesday in 3 years, and I remember it. I was really, really sick. I came on through COVID, and I've come on through a lot of things. And I've come on all across the country. I came on from Pennsylvania. I've come on from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where Julian is. I have been on from a lot of places around the country as well. And I appreciate you guys coming here to join us. So here is your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun.
I know, I like the music.
Yeah, Gino's Finds made that for me. I love Gino. Miss Shanae said, question, I love reselling. I believe that I can build this into a full-time income. What are your thoughts on taking the plunge prior to earning a full-time income? How do I balance working and reselling full-time?
I'm married, so my husband has a full-time job, so that made it less scary. When I quit teaching, and then I was just at home with Jenny, and I really wasn't, we had kind of a time where, well, like in the fall, I was going to get a part-time job, and then I started reselling. And so now this is my full-time job. It would be, I think, scarier if it was just me by myself. So I think you really have to take into consideration, you know, how much money you can make on that. Is it going well? Are you having other income coming in? I know Kat is a good one because you had your full-time job and then took the plunge, and now you're doing this. So I really can't speak from that because I have the support, you know, of my husband bringing consistent money in all the time. So.
Yeah, my answer is a little bit probably not the answer you're looking for either. So I was kind of, in a way, forced into not working in any other way. I started taking care of my mother around 2002. She became very ill, and so I had to find another way to make income other than working outside the house. And so I just kind of had to figure it out as I went, and I've paid for my mistakes. You pay as you learn, for sure. Usually in shipping, and sometimes in not enough research. So that's how I did it. It's not the typical story though, unfortunately.
So a lot of you know I actually went full-time last October, but prior to that, I worked a full-time job and was full-time on eBay. So I was we're pretty much working 2 full-time jobs. And one thing I always tell people is make sure to be successful, you need to prepare for success. So what I did was I spent the past year just lining up a bunch of inventory so I can hit the ground rolling. And also taking consideration, just because you work a 40-hour work week doesn't mean you're going to put those 40 hours into reselling and that you're going to double and triple your sales right off the bat, because it doesn't work that way. Because you got to take into consideration, you got to source now. You're going to be, sourcing more often. You're going to be, listing more often. Life gets in the way and other things do take place, and you have to be extremely disciplined to quit and work for yourself. And So I would say the balance your work-life balance right now is take advantage of all the time. Before you go to work, I used to list stuff online. On my lunch breaks, I take all my pictures on my phone. I list my lunch breaks or breaks at work. I had a desk job, so I was sitting while I was on the phone at work. I was sitting there listing stuff off my phone, and I was pretty much double dipping at that point in time because I was preparing myself to leave my job. So you have to put yourself in a position. You have to be prepared. And I would highly recommend. If you're not happy, leave your job. Life's too short, and that was happening to me. I just got fed up one day and I just left. Kat's gonna have a little bit different story here when she tells about her and stuff like that. But you got to do what makes you happy first and foremost. And even if you take a small pay cut, it's well worth it just for the mental clarity and how much better you're going to feel and how much happier you're going to be. Because I will tell you, I work probably twice as hard and many more hours now, but I work those around my family's schedule. So before they get up in the morning, when they go to bed, I stay up. I'll work 2-3 hours. Like tonight, when I get off this podcast, I'm going to list for probably 2 hours because everyone's going to be sleeping at that time. So you can make it work. You just have to work around it, but you just have to be disciplined. It's going to be the biggest thing I tell you.
Yeah. So as far as taking the plunge prior to earning a full-time income, I'm going to kind of echo Dagny and say it would really depend on if you have a spouse that has an income, so you have some guaranteed income. I did not. And it's funny, I had comments this week that thought I didn't have a husband because he just doesn't like the camera. I do have a husband, but my husband took care of my son. My husband did not work outside the house. So my income was the sole income. So for me, I wanted to see that I had that full-time income. And I know a lot. Now, my husband doesn't do a ton with my eBay business. He has never, even though I have tried to pull hair and scream and get him to, he's just not a reseller. So some people are like, oh, you have the help. Not with eBay. I don't, not with eBay. But I do, I have an assistant now. But so at that time, my income was the only income. So what he did, that those of you that don't have spouses, he did the grocery shopping. He does all the cooking for the last 8 years. He, will watch, like he's bathing and putting Dalton to bed right now. So I do have help, just supportive help, not necessarily as far as the business, but that allows me to. But as far as taking the plunge prior to, I'm going to also echo what Rod said and say, if you're miserable, sometimes you got to take a leap of faith, and you need to know. And I'm going to talk about it in my video on Thursday, because I've been getting comments of people scared about reselling because of the economy. And there are so many ways in reselling. Like you were asking about Boost. Cathy does her live sales. I am making more on Whatnot than I make on eBay now. So you got to be able to pivot with reselling depending on where your money is coming from. Tiffany was on with us last week. She makes a lot of direct sales from videos, but you also could go to the flea market. There are so many ways that I think if you're miserable at work, that you can make it work. But you better be ready to bust your butt, like Rod said, and work maybe double the hours of a full-time job in order to make that happen. I am very self-motivated, and I would go set up a tent on the street corner before I went back to work because I was so stressed. So I will find a way to make it happen. So yes, Brad does a lot, just not in the reselling end. I don't have to worry about the household stuff, which is obviously a big part. And I forget because I haven't had to worry about it for a long time, which is nice. Like Brad's like, who would cook for you? I know how to cook. I know how to cook. I know how, I just haven't done it very much in years. Miss Patricia. Oh, wait. As far as balancing, I'm going to echo Rod too. I listed on my my lunch breaks. I listed in traffic on the way to work and traffic on the way home. If I went to doctor's appointment, I put all of my free time into it because I know I wanted to leave. I know I wanted to be home with Dalton. So every free spare minute went into reselling. So you got to put a lot of work in to kind of build it up before you take that leap. Miss Patricia sent a $12 super chat. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Here is your dolphin.
From earlier, there's Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That's one of them. It's great. You can't see it on here, but it's graded a 9.8.
I'll make you big.
Here we go. Here we go. 9.8. So the highest grade you can get is a 10.0. So there, and then we got some NES games like Blastmaster and stuff like that. So yeah, I got tons of. That's pretty much all that stuff came from that one pickup. So I got 52 sealed games like this.
Nice. I want to say too, so Gina said she's thinking of hiring a house cleaner. I don't have time. I have one, and I've had one for 5 years. So I don't want to neglect to say that. And I actually have him come twice a week now, and he cleans all of my inventory areas because my inventory areas are actually about 700 square feet. So he'll vacuum, he'll straighten the shelves because we might pull in haste. So he'll straighten the shelves where we know where we have room. He unloads all of the boxes, like the eBay boxes it comes in. He unloads them and puts them away for us. So I do have that too. I don't want to neglect to say that. Tommy, and he weeds our garden. He's absolutely amazing. He does whatever I ask him. He house sits for us when we are gone, so that somebody's here with the animals. And he's been around. Before I had Dalton, I was pregnant with Dalton when he started working for us. So yeah. Definitely, if you think about it, if what you pay somebody to clean house, if you could make more money doing reselling during the time that you save, then it's worth it. And if you don't like, I don't like it. And if you don't like it, so that's just my opinion on it.
You're also a business owner, and you have to learn to delegate tasks. And I mean, if you could spend 2 hours cleaning, and you can list $500 worth of stuff in those 2 hours, it's well worth it to hire someone that $50 an hour to go clean.
Yeah, for sure. And like with the inventory areas, and like I said, we've expanded it. That's why he comes twice a week, because he'll come in here in the shed and he vacuums the shed and takes the trash out. That way, like me and Lynn can concentrate on listing and like what we need to do for eBay. So it definitely, I think if you can afford it, if you put that time to good use and make up that money and you're happier because you don't have to clean, then I think it's worth it. Miss Helene said, I sold something this week for $20, and by the time I paid for all the fees, not including shipping, I was left with $6. So that's $14 in fees. How much do you save in fees if you have a store?
I do have a store on eBay, but I'm kind of bad. I was reading the question. I was like, I don't even really look at like, okay, it sold for this. All my items are either auction or best offer. And the best offer, I have an idea in my head, what's the lowest I'll take. And that's what I go off of. I don't look at like fees and how much, because it might be a little depressing sometimes. So I am kind of bad at like looking at like how much did I make for each item. But I do have a store. I have the store that's the $24 a month store. And I did that because I was running out of free listings, and then I would not list towards the end of the month because I didn't want to pay, because you get like so many free listings. And then so the last like week and a half, I was like, well, I'm not going to list anything because I don't want to spend the 30 cents. And so then I got the $5 store, and then I got the, I think I went up to the 24, so I'd get the coupon. So, so I'm bad at looking at how much things are.
I have the basic store, and ever since I started doing live sales, I kind of just kind of let it go. And so same thing. I'm not paying much attention to the fees. I think it's only a big reason is because I started doing it 20 years ago. And I think I just kind of got used to what I was getting coming in. And that's probably not the way to do it, to be honest with you. But I remember when I first started out being very disheartened with the sale and then the fees. I'm like, well, I just sold this other thing and it just only paid for my fees. And I feel like I'm just giving away some of my items. So if you are able to list a lot, you are going to save on fees if you get at least a basic store. So just if you don't think you're going to list a lot, though, I don't know if that's too helpful at the beginning.
So typically eBay fees are going to be roughly around 13 to 15%. So I'm not sure why you have 14 fees, unless you're including your cost of your good in that fee. Because how eBay works is you get when you sell an item, you take the item's cost, the tax, and the shipping cost, and you pay a fee on that entire amount right there. And then you have to pay. So you may be adding in your shipping costs or something to those fees, but your fee should not be that high. To get a store, yes, you do get a discount on your fees if you do have a store, but it doesn't. If you have over 200, I think it's 250 items, I think is the threshold for you that's more beneficial to have a store than just to do part-time and list on there. So I would say it really comes down to what items you're currently selling, how much you're listing, if it makes sense financially to have a store or not. But it does. You do get shipping discounts, and you do get, depending on your store size, you will get a coupon for shipping supplies every quarter as well.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Rod. I don't think your fees should be that high, unless like if you did a subtitle, which is $6. I'm wondering if you did something you didn't know, because fees on a high end should be 20-25%, and that's promoting high. Mine run about 20% if you're not counting the shipping, which would be $4 in fees. So that should leave you $16 minus your cost of item. So I would look at how you're listing. The store is not going to save you that much, but I'm wondering if you click something else.
Also, too, is
that was a drive-by. That was a drive-by.
It depends if she's doing promoted listing, if she's doing like suggested, like for example, there's some categories may suggest like 12% or something like that. Or
20, yeah. So, check what you're doing when you're listing. I don't think it's an eBay not having a store thing. I think it could be either how you're looking at it or what you've chosen to do. Yeah, so something's wrong there. Something's wrong. That is not how it should be. Yeah. You should be at most, like I said, like $6 at the most, and leave you with 14, not vice versa. So make sure, like I had one of my listers that kept using the subtitle and everything. That's $6, $6. And like I caught it on most, but some I didn't. So that's a $6 fee. So 3% on $20 that's only 60 cents. That's not. So all you would save with the store is the 30% insertion fee and maybe 10%. So I think something else is wonky there. I would even, like if you're positive those were your fees and you didn't have optional items checked, or like double categories can sometimes charge you extra, I would contact eBay for Business, because that is not how it should be. Before we put the super chat up, I wanted to put this up. Patricia, who just sent the super chat, said it took her 3 months to be equipped and set. She's an 83-year-old grandma who wants to declutter. Guys, you are never too old to do this. I had people that were 89 at my nurse flipper camps learning how to sell. You are never, you can still do it. I promise you. So that is, I have chills, Patricia. I have chills. Awesome. She sold 2 items. And that is why I'm here. That is why all of us are here on Tuesdays, is to help you. And that is amazing. So I wanted to say congrats to you. That is absolutely awesome. Guys, don't let age be a discriminating factor to you. I see it and talk to people every day in their 80s that are rocking and rolling with reselling. It can be done. I promise you. Everyone should learn to resell and teach your children how to resell as well, because at any point in time you run into a situation, you can just start putting stuff online and start selling stuff in a heartbeat. You know, you lose your job to make fast income.
Yeah, so it's good, or to supplement income. Like you have a medical problem, you have, you know, something happens at school or the kids, or they're going to go up to college. Like you need to make this a secondary income. Learning to resell is going to help you out tremendously, and teach your family as well, because it's only going to come back 10 times. Yeah, for sure. Miss Shanae sent us a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Here is your dolphin. Dalton riding a dolphin when he was a baby.
Patty wants to know what's the big news at List Perfectly.
I don't know.
But
What is the big news?
You have the inside.
I don't know if I know. I don't know. I mean, I know they're having the big camp listing party in June in Phoenix, and yours truly will be there speaking in Phoenix. I don't know.
I'm not sure they were referring to the countdown on the website, because the countdown on the website was for that big party that they were doing.
So maybe it was, the camp listing party. I will be there. Super excited. I haven't been that far west in over 30 years. So I will be in Phoenix at that event. I will tell you, and I'm going to talk about that on Thursday's video as well. I started using the auto sales detection on there, where it pulls up your sales for you, and it is absolutely amazing. So definitely that's a newer thing on there as well. But I think the camp listing party was the big thing, and I'm excited about that. I think they're going all around the country and doing it for free, doing these listing parties. Rod and I went to one down in Tampa. They were just in Dallas, Texas, or they are going to be this week, Las Vegas. They were in California, and just providing get-togethers for the community, which is amazing. River Acres Resellers, Miss Randy wants to know, how can I lower shipping costs?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question. It depends on what you're like. I try to combine things. I combine 2 big pieces tonight. If people ask, and I try to combine things even if they don't ask. And and I buy my labels through eBay. You get a slight discount, and I know you can use pirate ship and you get a discount. I didn't really answer that question very well.
Yeah. All I can think of is when I first started, and I was sourcing boxes at, the Dollar Tree. Can I have your spare boxes, and using newspaper as not to wrap the item, but as filler, never to wrap the item, ever, ever, ever. But I don't really use newspaper anymore because the ink can get on the item. So you kind of have to be creative. I used to even find discounted Easter grass to get the really fragile little things to put around those things. Yeah, I mean, it is difficult to find shipping items cheaply other than through coupons and things like that.
So I use calculated shipping on my eBay account, so if you ship through the platforms, you do get a discount on shipping. So I highly recommend always ship through the platforms, or through pirate ship, you will get a discount. Don't take it to the post office, because you're going to charge the max amount of money to do that. Or if you use PayPal, they will charge you the regular amount of money through PayPal as well. I would say if you have bigger boxes, instead of filling it with stuffing and filling it with newspaper and other things, perforate your boxes. Meaning that if you have this much space in the box, cut the sides of it off, and then they'll fold down. And you can actually save tremendous amounts of money by that, because if you just cut out, 3-4 ounces, that may, bring you under a pound.
And those inches on oversized, just 2 inches makes a giant difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, that's the biggest thing. But if you're using calculated shipping, you can't, it's dictated by the Postal Service. It's dictated by FedEx and UPS at that point in time. So there's only so much you can do. But I mean, I would always do calculated shipping on your listings, so you're not paying anything extra out of pocket. You're always passing that savings on to your buyers. Or if you're a seller that does run free shipping, make sure you calculate the actual full shipping cost into your item's listed price.
Yeah, and shipping lately has gotten absolutely ridiculous. Some first class is more expensive than priority. Yeah. We cannot lower their fees, but you can do like Rod said, do calculated shipping, make sure your buyer is absorbing that cost, not you. And it sucks. It sucks. Like, if you look at it, shipping is crazy lately. I wanted to put this up here because Gina said use Ground Postal Select. I want to tell you guys, you get no discount on Ground Select. So if you are choosing this, you are not getting that 30% discount to pay for your postal fees or for the eBay fees on the shipping. So you are losing money if you are using Postal Select. Be aware of that, guys. Be aware.
And Priority Mail has free insurance up to $100. So if you use the ground and it's over a pound, you're losing that free insurance.
You get no insurance on Ground Select, and you get no discount. So if it tells your buyer it's $11, here's the thing too, I'm off a little bit on shipping sometimes, right? It goes over a couple of ounces. If I have priority, most times that 30% discount will cover the cost to go to the next pound. If you're on Ground Select, you have no wiggle room. So I have been choosing USPS retail ground, which is a little more than Postal Select, but it's less than priority. But then I ship priority. So my buyer gets some of my discount, but they don't get it all like with Ground Select. So USPS retail ground is what I've been choosing, and then I switch it over to priority. So that gives them a little bit off, but not the whole thing, because I still want to cover the fees and the cost of my supplies.
Also, too, if you offer your buyers discounts for shipping, if they buy multiple items, for example, if you have an item shipping a DVD, it's going to cost $3.50 to ship it. But if you buy a second DVD, that second DVD is going to be free shipping because you're still under a pound through media mail. So by doing that, can actually increase your sales price, but also offer a discount on shipping costs to your buyers.
Yes. Okay, Selena's giving us an update. Cathy is at 785. So we need 215 more of you to subscribe to Cathy. She is the Kitschy Cat. There are 370 of you here right now. So we don't even need all of you. Just 215 of you to go subscribe to the Kitschy Cat. We've got an hour and 20 minutes. So no rush, but
we can do it.
We can do it. I feel like we can do it. Yeah, see, I am not so Lori said she shares her discount with the buyer, so it doesn't make a difference. I'm not a fan of that because then I am incurring the fees and the cost of my supplies. So I'm not a fan of it. But that's because we ship out 300 to 400 packages a week, and 50 cents for a box would be over $200 that I would be losing if I did that. So I look at it from a business sense. And again, if you accidentally undercalculate it, then you don't have wiggle room. Janet has a question. Why is it called a death pile versus a debt pile?
I don't know. Isn't it called something else?
Some people call it a money pile.
Money pile, yeah.
Profit pile.
Profit pile. I'll get to that later pile.
I would say because it's just not moving.
Yeah.
It's just not moving.
The never-ending pit where you put your items you buy and you throw them on there, and then you buy more the next week, you pile on top, and you just pick out the good stuff to list.
Yeah.
So those things just stay there because you're always going to cherry pick the best things to list.
Some things aren't exciting, yeah.
Sometimes it's just left to die.
A lot of people don't like calling it a death pile. I do. I see all the money pile and profit pile.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a death pile. And we have a Facebook group called Death Pile Destruction. So it's a death pile. It's stuff you need to get rid of. You need to list it. It is not making you money. It's not a money pile if you're not listing it. If you're not listing it, a bunch of crap I need to list pile. You know, Patty said the kids can handle it when I'm dead.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Yes, bunch of junk I didn't need to buy pile. Lynn has made amazing progress. She started with me in December, and that's some of what you see back there. She's been keeping up with my thrifting, as well as she also has been hitting that. So I'm happy because then I can buy better stuff. But I want to list what I already paid for, you know. If you already paid for it, and most of it, mine came out of lots that I already made profit on. So that's like free inventory sitting there, even if it's not much money.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree during lockdown. Thank goodness for the piles. But lockdown didn't slow me down at all. I sourced from online auctions. They didn't stop. So I had no issues during lockdown. None at all. Miss Rose said, I posted 10 new inbox items on Facebook Marketplace, 5 days, no inquiries. Do you have any tips for posting on Facebook Marketplace?
I don't post on Facebook Marketplace, but I think this goes with just taking good pictures, because I would see a lot of bad pictures on eBay. Things are blurry. It looks like you went like that and took a picture of the item. My favorite story is when I was working for Jocelyn. There was she had the same item was for sale, like this pig, and there was a jar of pickles in the background. And I messaged her, "Can I take a picture with food in the background?" She's like, "Absolutely not." So make sure your pictures, I would guess, look professional as you can, and in focus and close up, because there's the other ones where they're like teeny tiny far away, and or you don't show all the sides of the piece, show the top and the bottom and all the sides and the inside. So I would say, even though I don't do Facebook Marketplace, take really, really nice in clear focus pictures.
I've only ever sold one thing on Marketplace. I only tried once. And it
you
was
have a great success rate then. You're
right.
1 for 1.
It was like this too, actually. It was a cube
100%.
shelf.
Yeah.
It was crazy because somebody had set a cube, like an IKEA type cube shelving thing on the side of the road for free. And I'm like, that's money sitting there. So I took it home. I actually never brought it in the house. I cleaned it outside, like sanitized it. And then I took pictures like I would take on eBay, and I listed the problems with it, which there really weren't many. And I just slapped on $20 because I knew somebody would buy that for $20. I probably could have gotten more, but I wanted it kind of just flip it really fast. And so, yeah, just make sure you take good pictures, just like you would on any other selling platform.
Yeah, just what they were saying, pictures is always key. Also, too, depending on the items you're selling, make sure there's a demand locally in your area, because it may be something that could be better be sold nationwide online. So if you do sell it on Facebook Marketplace, make sure that you do have the not just local on there, you do have shipping on there, so you can sell it nationwide. So I would make sure you would have that. Also, too, is make sure your price point. Look at what those items are currently selling for. You may be priced too high if you have 10 items up and no one's actually buying those right now. Or it may be a long tail item that's something that's just going to take time to sell. So, I mean, those would be the biggest things I would take a look at. Also, too, now Facebook does have this new feature where you can promote your listings on there and run them as ads. So, that
you have to pay whether it sells or not.
Correct. So that's something new. So, that might be something depending on what your price point is. I mean, if it's high-end items, it might be worth it, but.
All right. I am kicked off of Facebook Marketplace. I have been banned off Marketplace for a while now for my mom listing license plates, which are not allowed. But what I tend to notice on Facebook Marketplace is they either sold in the first few days or they didn't sell at all. They do have a renew your listing. They allow you to do it 4 times every 7 days. So it's kind of bumping your listing to the top. I would do that and bump it up, but I wouldn't use Facebook as a main platform. That is not one of the busier platforms. It's a good add-on platform, but I would be using either probably eBay or Etsy for a main platform to get the most sales versus Facebook Marketplace. Mercari's the same way. If they don't sell in a few days, they go stagnant on Mercari as well. So I would watch that. Yeah, it's weird. Donna wants to know if we have any suggestions or ideas on how to do junk drawer. Junk drawer lot.
Say that 3 times fast.
That's gonna be even better. I can answer that question. No, I
can't take that clip.
Drunk or junk. I have not done that, so I would like to hear Cathy's suggestion when she answers that question.
How do you do, as in buy them or sell them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she's saying sell them.
Yeah, I think she means like to list them to sell them.
Is that when you have a whole bunch of one thing?
Okay.
Yeah, or you could do it with anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. I've done that with salt pepper shaker. Sorry, Cathy.
Oh, yeah. I've only ever done it with jewelry. And what I did with that was, it was when Goodwill was selling the jewelry jars at a lot cheaper rate. I would look for all the gold and silver, look for the eBay worthy stuff, look for stuff I wanted. And then I would categorize. And I started to think there's a theme going here. These are all beachy. These are all like eclectic. These are all like children's jewelry. So I made mixed lots, beach jewelry, beach wedding jewelry. That's what I would call it. Beach party, anything, any keywords that would kind of fit. And categorizing, people seem to like themes. So that's how I did it. But that's the only thing I've ever done it with.
So the best thing is, if you're running junk drawer, is make sure you lay everything out, and so that's very precise what you can see all the different items. A lot of times junk drawer is a mixture of different jewelry, little figurines, watches, money. I mean, anything could be in there. Just a very eclectic group of items. So I would say is make sure you have some items in there that will catch people's eyes. Jewelry is always one of them that jumps out to people. I always see people throwing some old sports cards. I've seen all kind of different things in there, but make it look interesting. Make sure you stage it. The first picture really good. Also take really good photos of as many photos as you can. You can do up to 24 photos now on eBay. So I would say take as many photos as possible in there. And traditionally, junk drawers are meant to be moving merchandise. It's stuff that you just have little knickknacks just laying around to move those. So I like when I do junk drawers, it's stuff that I don't care what it sells for. And I like to start out super low and run it as an auction. And traditionally, I would either do listed on a Thursday night and a 10-day auction. So you hit 2 weekends and it ends on a Sunday night, or listed on a Sunday night, usually between the hours of 7 and 9. That's usually the key areas, and let it run as an auction. So it ends Sunday nights between 7 and 9. Most people are sitting at home because they have to work the next day. So.
Dear Angela's Vintage is saying it's actually a big thing on Poshmark. I would say keywords. Like I've seen like grandma drawer, grandpa drawer, cottage core, depending on what's in it, keyword it where people that are searching it. I think keywords is super, super important. And that it's somehow related, like all men's stuff or all women's stuff or, whatever. So like, and I would photograph, my first photo would have like the most interesting thing dead center on top.
Yep.
Like you got to stage it. You got to photograph it well. Rod had a good point. Use all the photos. You get extra ones now. And I think junk drawers on eBay would be a good thing for auctions. I agree with him, because somebody might want one thing, but then somebody wants another thing and they're bidding against each other for different things, which is what you want. You want it to drive up. So yeah, that's what I would just, keywords and pictures are going to be, I think, your main things with those two. Deja vu thrifting. I had my first big oops today. I sold something I had already sold months ago on Etsy and forgot to delist. Second time in 23 years. Not bad, but how often, if any, has this ever happened to you?
I haven't done that, but I have sent the wrong item to somebody. I had 2 different size plates, and they were very, very nice about it. And I had gotten the plates for free, so I was out of like any money I was making off it was better. So I just sent the correct plates and let her keep the other plates, and then became really fanatical about making sure, measuring if I had similar items. And then one time I couldn't find something, and then I feel just like because my whole house is my inventory, and I could not find it. And they were super nice about it. And so that's another thing now I'm very manic about, like, where is everything? Because keep track of everything. And when I went to Oregon to see my folks, my husband was in charge of shipping because we kept the store open. And it's easy when you're at home and you're like, oh, that's this and that's there. But there was one item that he could not find. And I was like, oh, it's in a white box. It's in a white box. It's out in the shed. It's fine. And he could not find it. And so I reached out to the buyer and said, can we wait until I get home? Again, I lucked out, super, super nice about it. And I did find it when I got home and sent it off to her. But that's pretty good. Second time in 23 years. I think you know what you're doing. You're doing fine. But those are my oops, or I couldn't find things twice and then I sent the wrong item.
I haven't done that only because I only only sold on eBay. So there wasn't another platform to compete with. But I have lost an item before, and I remember what it was too. It was many years ago. It was a Longaberger tie-on Christmas holly basket. Yeah. And little, flat, tiny. Yeah. And I was really good about organizing. That's one thing I'm kind of pride myself on, is my organization skills. So I was like, why can I not find? Yeah. And it just slipped down behind something, and I felt terrible. Messaged the person, said, I'm so sorry. I cannot find this. Let me know if I can send you anything else, or is there anything I can do? And nothing. So, but yeah, it happens. So, but yeah, it's once or twice. I think that's happened in 20 years. So I think that average is good.
I mean, we're all human, so it does happen. It's happened to me before, not often, just a few times. But I would say good rule of thumb is I always mess with the buyer and just let them know, hey, I made a mistake. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm going to issue you a refund. If there's anything you like my store, let me know, and I'll give you a 10% discount to make up for the error. Sorry for the inconvenience. And 9 out of 10 times, they're super cool about things, and you don't have to worry about it. Or sometimes they even go buy something else, so you don't lose out on that money. So, but it does happen.
So it happens to me often, probably 2 to 5 times a month. Not from not delisting, but like we had one today that I think it accidentally got put back on eBay by eBay. Like there's a glitch where eBay relists things, because I'm like, we have sold that. So I didn't even tell my buyer. I went and purchased it from another eBay seller for $10 more. I lost money, and I had them ship it to my buyer. So the first thing I do all the time is see if I can find the exact item in the same shape, and I will buy it. And then you just change the ship to address. You're basically drop shipping. I will do that first so the buyer gets their item. If I can't find that, I do what Rod said. And Cathy and I say, is there anything else in my store you would like? I'll give them, like if it's a $15 item, I might tell them to $25 because I know my cost into most things is pretty low. So I'll give them an incentive, and I'll say, or would you prefer I refund it? I had one over the years. She ended up buying like $300 more from my mistake. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'll give you a discount. And she bought like $300 more. She's like, oh, I want this and this and this. And so I think being honest, but I try and replace it first. I try and replace it first with the exact item before I go and say something to the buyer. So that's what we did today. Miss Bridget sent a $19.99 super chat and said, Kat, what's my favorite to sell? So my favorite to sell on eBay has got to be Native American items, like my kachinas, sand paintings, baskets. I love Native American ties, turquoise jewelry, Zuni stuff. And then whatnot. I love my jewelry. That is like a whole new thing for me. And I get to source jewelry, including Native American jewelry. And I've been making my resin pieces, so it's really fun to sell stuff you make. I'm only making like $2 a piece, but I love making it, and Dalton makes it with me. So that's one of my favorites lately too. And I sell those on Whatnot because I get to make them, and I just want to cover the cost of the resin, and it's like downtime, I definitely am below minimum wage for my crafting time, but it is okay because it's so fun to do it. So yeah, but number one would be Native American. I am going to give you your dolphin. Thank you so much. Dun, 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 dun. Every time. Miss Sue says, can you make sales on Instagram? And if so, how is it done?
I can't answer that question. I have not done that.
There are live sales just like YouTube on Instagram, but I've never delved into it before. But I think you can. Is there? I don't know. Actually, I think there is an Instagram for business, right? For actually selling and actually getting payments. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a store, I think.
Okay.
So the old-fashioned way, what you do is what they call claim sale. So you would actually post a picture of the item, just put the money on it. I mean, put the amount that you want to sell the item for, just like you do a regular Instagram post. And then you tell the first person to put claim underneath it, gets it. Or that you would do a live sale. Or a lot of times people would actually put it in their story and just say, hey, DM me if you want to buy this. So those are the main three ways that you would sell on Instagram. And I used to run claim sales all the time for video games on Instagram. I used to do pretty well with that. But with Whatnot coming in, they pretty much took away the live on Instagram. That's pretty much what has become probably one of the reasons why Whatnot is Whatnot now.
Mm.
But I think there's Etsy shops, and actually I think List Perfectly has capability to post there. Okay. So honestly, I might start having Mom, because it's just one more click to post it to Etsy and open an Etsy shop. But here's the thing, I'm banned on Facebook, and Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company. So am I banned from selling on Instagram? I don't know. So I might check that out and follow up with you guys. Because there have been people I like, because I've been watching a lot of like crafting reels and stuff since I've been doing it. And like theirs pop up with their shop. It says like shop, and I click it and it goes to like their crafting products that they have made. So I might try doing that. But other than that, like Rod said, like you could post pictures of your finds, all of that. You need a following though. You need a following. You need to be creating content to gather followers that will want to buy what you want. So that would be the first step to make sales on Instagram, would be to grow a following on Instagram of people that want to buy whatever you're selling. Like Dagny posts late night listings all the time.
All the time.
And well, I'm horrible at that. I've done it a couple times, but I'm horrible at it. But you could do like that, and that wouldn't be a direct sale on Instagram, but Dagny might be driving those people to eBay to buy them because they saw the pictures on Instagram. And I actually have bought 2 things in the last month that I saw people post on Instagram that they just listed. They were both glass vintage Japanese floats, like the glass float balls.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I saw 2 different people that I follow post them, and I went and bought both of them to put out in my garden. So I have bought from there like that. And that was just seeing them post them. Excuse me. You saw my 21-year-old came in here and brought my water. I forgot to bring my drink out here. Ooh, I see a peeper.
He says, can I come down? Now, of course, the dogs are barking at her.
We don't know you. We've never seen you before.
You walk into a room and they're like, Charlie, he's the one he's like, what? Who is that? What are you doing?
Ruby. Yeah, Ruby does that. My little one, like she barks at, she doesn't do it to me or Brooke, but she does it to Brad every time he comes home. It's so funny. Selena says, I got a listing taken down on eBay, an empty tobacco tin. They said not to relist it. What should I do?
Did they say why?
Well, yeah, why?
I think it's because of tobacco, and I think if you're not very, very clear that it's
title,
empty.
yeah.
Oh my gosh! That was so cute.
Susie. Yes,
she's
Susie.
like, hello, people. That was just like perfect. She's back there waiting.
She has to go outside, so I'll be right back. But I would put empty in the title. Make sure empty's in the title. And if you're still, I would contact them. Set aside 2 hours if you want to text them. Get yourself something to eat, and I would contact them to find out why. But I would definitely put empty in the title. I'll be right back. Come here, let's go potty.
Yeah, I would contact them too. That takes forever, like she said.
So when you're selling stuff like this, if it gets taken down, it's not even worth the hassle of contacting them. Move on, list it on another platform, Mercari, Etsy, somewhere else, and be done with it. Because if you list that same item on eBay and you mess up that listing again, you can get your account suspended or ding against your account. So it's not even worth relisting, and just move on and sell it on another platform.
Yeah, I would be very careful, because if you do put it back up, like Rod said, you could get suspended. It is probably that they don't think it's empty. I've sold some alcohol bottles like that. You need to put like empty, collectible. I wouldn't put that one back up, though. I do agree with Rod. Here, look.
Yeah.
Ren said she took her tobacco tins down because she read somewhere that they're on the Vero list. So just be very, very careful if you are doing it.
Also,
but try Etsy too, because it's vintage. I would think Etsy maybe.
So with everyone getting moved over to this new, so if you had the old global shipping program on with eBay, you can't. There's certain things that you can just opt out from shipping internationally. If you enroll in the new international shipping program on eBay, you can't opt out your items. Every item you list is automatically put in the international shipping program now. So, like, for example, I had some Kylie Jenner makeup that I got, and I was selling on there. When it got moved over to the international shipping, they got flagged because once again it got moved to international shipping, and you can only sell that domestically. You can't sell those because they have someone has a contract overseas that have exclusive rights to it, and you can't sell Kylie Jenner makeup overseas. So my account my items got removed for that reason. So just be careful if you have got moved over to the international shipping program. That might have flagged it as well.
Yeah. So just be careful. I don't know if any of us have sold on HighBid. HighBid is my favorite place to buy from. Lawrence is asking, how long does it take for HighBid to review a new listing before they list it? So I don't know if any of us have sold on HighBid, or if maybe somebody in the chat has.
I have not.
No. I've not.
Yeah, so I buy on there, Lawrence, but I don't sell on there. So I'm not sure how their process is. I wish I could remember the name. The person I bought that glass fishing float from is a HighBid seller. They're a big HighBid auction seller. If I remember their name, I will tell you guys, because I'm sure they could help. Rose said, regarding Facebook Marketplace, this is the first time I've used photo room white background. I'm wondering if the white background deters interest. Thought. So I want to hear opinions from the panel, because I think they are going to differ. And I also want to hear opinions in the chat. And that is exactly what they are. It's opinions, guys. It's all opinion.
I'm going to go back to just taking pictures on eBay, because that's where I sell. So I usually do the white background. If it's clear glass, I use the black background. And a couple of times I've used a piece of purple construction paper because you just could not see the item. And I think anything different than a white or black kind of grabs people's attention. I know it grabs my attention, but 9 times out of 10, I use white unless it just is not showing up. I'll even take pictures outside, and that is a brick background because it's my house. So I think this is the first time I've used, I think it looks nicer, but it depends on the item.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like a pitcher like a creamer has really soft corners, and it looks blurry. You can't get it in focus. And so it depends on, in my opinion, it depends on the item you're trying to take a picture of, but I go for white.
I do pretty much the same. It's usually just black or white. I would like to be artistic in my photos and then like throw a flower in there or something really, but and I think it looks beautiful, but I feel just for my time constraints and things like that, it's either black or white. And sometimes I took a foam board and at the Dollar Tree, and I got some of their wood grain contact paper, and I made a wood background in case I had something that would look good with a rustic sort of wood background. So that's what I use. I do like the white though. I do feel like it's showcases what you have.
So there's an actual scientific reason behind why they were using the white backgrounds for everything, is because Google Image would pull the white backgrounds. That's what Google preferred for search, was items that had the white backgrounds for like the search on there. So for the longest time, eBay was pushing white backgrounds for their items to be pushing the search. And now that was years ago. I don't know if that's still the case, but I do like different backgrounds. I think it does, depending on your items, it does pop. I mostly use a white background, but I do like the different change up to it because I think it can pop your items and make it stand out more. But it's going to be a personal preference.
Anybody that knows me knows I am 100% white background, and that is coming from a professional photographer background. I think it looks clear. I think it looks crisp. You can see the item, and it looks more professional. And it's funny because if you use Photo Room, I've gotten it like only twice over the years. Oh, can I see real items of your picture or real pictures of your item? I'm like, please take a look at all of my photos. These are my photos. I took them. And the people are like, oh, I'm sorry. I see. They think they're fake. I am drawn to the white backgrounds. Especially if you have a busy background, that's the thing. So I'm okay with like the wood grain, brick, black. The main thing is you can see your item. And if you've got a pickle jar by your pig.
Or you take it like this. Or this.
Or like your leg in the photo, or heaven forbid,
I don't understand, like, if
other
you're looking
body parts.
Sorry, if you're looking for this shaker, okay, and people just take this picture, this angle, don't do that. Take the top, take the bottom, take every single side, and point out every flaw. People just take one picture. It's like, what are you doing? And then
if they're really popular and really expensive, I have learned through my research videos, they will still sell. And you could put black necklace and it would sell for $5,000 if it was a Shriner piece. Crazy. I mean, so unless you're finding super rare, super expensive stuff, don't do something that will take away from the item. So John's saying they took away the eBay white background requirement for showing up in shopping ads. So that's fine. And I used to do color backgrounds. I would get all matchy. And if it had a little bit of pink in it, I would do a pink background. And time is money. And doing them all white is really fast. We edit 50 photos at a time. Yeah. My apron show, if you don't know, I'm doing a 1920s to 1950s vintage apron show on Whatnot on Friday. Ooh. My first not jewelry sale. I did all those on black because most of them are white based. But I did edit them even for Whatnot. Normally I don't. But I wanted you to be able to see the aprons better. So I say, as long as you can see the item. And it's in focus. So when we do videos, it's blurry. It's blurry a lot of times. What'd you say, Dagny?
They're saying feet. I think they're talking about feet, if there's feet in the picture.
Like if you're standing taking a picture of a blanket or a shirt, yeah, and you see your toe.
My biggest pet peeve. I hate it so much. Facebook Marketplace is the worst for feet photos.
Also, if
you're into that.
If you're having a hard time getting your photograph to actually portray the correct color, I've had issues with that before. It's very frustrating. If it's a sunny day and you can do it, take it outside. You can get some amazing pictures of natural sunlight. Really good.
Yeah,
pictures.
I agree with that. I wanted to say hi to Blockhead Arts. I'm glad to see you here. She does amazing art, and she had a booth at Renninger's when we went last time and gave Dalton a picture of a kitty cat that hangs on his bedroom door. And it wasn't made to look like our cat, but it looks like Pig. So I wanted to say hi, and I'm glad to see you here. Yes, Scott is right. Dagny said it. Feet pictures might be the kicker. Don't put your feet in we're kidding. Please don't put your feet in pictures.
See, now I almost put my feet in a picture because I got a big giant fan, and this fan is 5 feet long, and all the pictures make it look like it's a little fan. So I thought, well, I could put on some cute shoes and put my feet in a picture. I did think about that, but I didn't. So maybe I will.
You might get a whole different type of buyers if you do that. Yes.
That's another one.
Yeah, don't show your nails if they're dirty and icky. And I know somebody used to do that just to get people's gruff. But Like Dalton's so funny. He'll check his nails before he puts his hands in the sale on Whatnot because he knows. I'm like, don't put dirty nails.
Taking a picture of something reflective, like say 1950s kitchen.
Don't be
canisters.
naked. Don't
Yeah.
be naked.
I've seen those on Facebook. I have seen those as well.
Yeah. Click.
Yeah. Be careful of your reflection. Be careful of your reflection.
Yeah.
Siggy says she uses an iPhone 13 and eBay on the computer shows it too dark. I use 2 ring lights. Does anybody know any settings on an iPhone that might be able to help her?
I have an Android, so.
Me too.
So if you click on your photo that you actually took the picture of, and if you click on the edit button, there's a tab for exposure and for brilliance. You can actually quickly adjust those, and it will lighten up completely. So brilliance and exposure on when you go to edit your photo. I do it every single time. I take a photo, I go to brilliance and exposure, quick slide it over, and it's going to make it super bright.
I know you can do your white balance and you can double tap for white balance too. We use the iPhone 13 Siggy for Whatnot. And I don't notice any light issues. So I would try maybe double tapping on it too and check those settings that Rod said as well. This is a good question. I don't know that we've really gotten this much. What is our personal definition or goal of success as a reseller?
I think continued sales, and you are making money. You're not like you spent so much money and then you're getting, double that back. I think that's a good question. I think if you have continued sales and making money off of the things that you're selling, probably the worst answer.
As I would answer the same, as long as things, you don't want to plateau.
Yeah.
Success, I think, is continuing to learn the market, flow with the market, have tenacity about it, kind of be stubborn about doing it, because you're going to have times where you're like, this is discouraging. So for me, success is it's actually more measured on, this is what makes me happy. Honestly, this is what I've liked my whole life. And so I'm guessing you're thinking more of the financial end. I'm not making millions out of doing it. So I have to define it right now in terms of it makes me happy, and it is making me an income that I can live with. So
for me, if I find something that I loved to do and can support my family and keep growing as an individual, that is success for me. So I love reselling because it helps challenge. Every single day is a new challenge. You get thrown curveballs left and right, and you have to adapt. You have to pivot with what's going on with the economy. You have to adapt to pivot what's going on with your sourcing, and to be able to challenge myself, to be able to grow as a person and to grow my business. And each year, I should be one step closer to reaching where I want to be. I'm never going to retire. So it is not doing this to retire, because this is fun. If I wasn't doing this full time, this is what I'd be doing in my free time. So it's not about, working to retirement. It's not about any of that. It's about supporting my family, being able to live comfortably, be able to put money away, and to continue to grow my business. And, that's the fun part for me, and have fun while I do it, and continue to do what you love.
Yeah, for me, success is paying my bills. I wanted to say earlier too, though, depending on the level of reselling, I know some people have cut out like certain things so their cost of living is less, so that their reselling affords it. My thing when I left is I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do more than I was making as a nurse, not lessen my lifestyle to, accommodate lower sales. So for me, it's being able to do everything we want to do. Like we go out on the boat, we take trips. I I'm able, like if I, like my daughter, we went to Key West. I rented a penthouse for her 21st birthday and I took her to Duval Street on Key West myself. You know, rather than her going with her friends, being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it is being successful. And yeah, always improving, being fluid, being able to change, you know, as long as I can pay my bills and I'm not struggling, I'm happy. I would, but success would be being able to do all of those other things that I want to do, you know, help her with her laptop for school. She's starting nursing school in a week. So, you know, being able to help with stuff like that is absolutely amazing. Yeah. And you're your own boss, you know, you're your own boss. You get to do what you want. Yeah. And I employ my daughter, I employ my mother, and I employ another person full time. So I'm actually helping other people to live, you know? Yeah. And that's the thing. Katrina saying, don't feel bad if you're not to the levels of others. Yeah. Everybody's success is your own, you know, and the cost of living where I'm at is actually nothing compared to California, you know? So you as a California reseller might need like 4 times what I'm selling. But if you live in the middle of Kansas, you might need a quarter of it and be happy. You know, I mean, you know, yeah, shopping and traveling. I get to go make videos. I go see my friend. I went to see Dagny a couple times in Pennsylvania and my friend Dale. I went to see Julian multiple times. I see Rod, I get to see Mark, OG and Z. I see Marsha. I get to travel and shop, you know, I mean, how that's not success, you know, I think it is. Somebody asked what I sold. So I sold a vintage, look, speaking of Native American, this is a tiny, this thing's only 6 inches, an iron spearhead arrowhead point, and it sold for $97 plus shipping. 97 bucks. I paid 10. So I love my I'm telling you guys, I love my Native American. Somebody asked how to view Whatnot too. If you like, as far as my shows, if you have the Whatnot app, use my link. If you don't, because you get $15 free. But use the magnifying glass to search. You put the nurse flipper, no spaces. I think that's the mistake most people make. They put spaces, no spaces. Just put the nurse flipper scrunched, and you'll find we have jewelry tomorrow night and Thursday, and then Friday is the apron show. And I put all the aprons up, so they are all photographed and listed already. I did that today, and I think Brooke, my daughter, is cataloging tomorrow's jewelry sale right now too. So you should have some stuff to look at. Lala's Mercantile. I have an eBay store. Can I get free boxes? Everyone seems so organized with boxes and shipping equipment. It has to be what, the $24.99 store, Dagny?
I think so. I don't think the $5 store you get the coupon, and that was the main reason why I went up to the next basic one.
Yeah, I didn't get it. So
yeah, no, I think just one of us needs the.
Yeah, $24.99 gives you a $25 coupon every quarter, and then the $59.99 gives you a $50 coupon every quarter.
Yeah, and I don't I forget, like you get 500 free listings with a 24 or something, and I never outdo that one. So there's no reason for. I would like to have more coupons, but more money for coupons, but the 24 is fine.
Resell to Ride sent a $5 super chat and said, I've been struggling with whether or not to keep my toy and antique booth. Not much profit each month, but it's like having my own store. Any advice?
I don't have an antique booth, so I would be a terrible person to ask that question.
I literally just went to my antique mall to say I'd like to withdraw because I was not getting the sales for a couple reasons. But they ended up closing down, so that didn't even have to happen. So, boy, for me, I gave it a year, and I never made rent. I think it had to do with location, unfortunately. And so when it started to feel not good to me, and I felt like I was losing something, I did decide to leave. It's a personal decision though. I want to try it again. I'm just going to pick probably better location. Not a better location, but a different location.
So the biggest thing, I mean, you got into reselling to make money. You know, this is a business. You need to treat it like a business. So if you're not making money, you know, there's plenty of other things you can do. If you like the idea of having your items on display, you know, like I'm building out my man cave right here. It's going to be in my office, but this whole wall is going to be filled with toys behind me and all around me because that's the stuff I enjoy picking up. And that's the stuff I enjoy displaying. So I like that aspect of it. So I have to know a little bit more what's holding you back or what do you really like about owning the store? Because if the store is not making you profit each month, what is the biggest thing? Is it having to display? Is it the networking that you're getting from the place? You know, something that's holding you back. So give us a little bit more context on why or what's the biggest thing that you like about the store.
Yeah, and I would say maybe the only reason I would keep it was if it was comparable to like storage, you know. So I have a bunch of big furniture, and actually hopefully my friend's friend just opened a store, so I'm hoping to get rid of all of my big pieces, my Ethan Allen, because freight is just too expensive, and I'm going to consign them in this new store as a plan, hopefully that will happen soon. So depending on the cost, like if it's comparable to like a storage unit that you would need anyways, I would say maybe I would keep it. Or keep one, because you said booths, so maybe narrow it down to one and keep the most profitable one. But if it were me, I have storage at my house. If I was losing money, I'd be out. I'd probably give it 3 to 6 months to make a profit before I'd pull out. I wouldn't do it for much longer personally. The reseller ride will be on with us guys as a guest too soon. So thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Constance asked if I'm part Native American. I am not. I just absolutely love Native American historical artifacts and pieces, and I've just fell in love with them. I'm not part Native American though. I absolutely love Native American stuff. Miss Julie Ann wants to know, what is the best way to store vintage magazines? Would you do it in plastic or paper? How would you store them?
I would think like in plastic, like in there's I can't think of the word. When isn't there like special acid-free plastic things? I know all the words.
That's a good question. I have not really sold many of them. That's like 1 or 2 at a time. So I've just kind of kept them with my other goods and they were fine. But on a large scale, I wouldn't be able to give good advice on that one.
So if you guys watch any of my videos, you know I pick up a lot of magazines when I'm out and about. And magazines are very similar to comic books. You can there's bag and boards just like you would for comic books. They're made this just bigger sizes for magazines. So I highly recommend bag and boarding them because the back of the board will keep that stiff and keep it from bending or getting any spine ticks or any damage to the actual magazine. Because if you have any color breaking spine ticks, and what that is like if you look at the spine, you'll see those little white marks on the spine. That's because the magazine got bent and it caused the color to break. That's called a spine tick. That decreases the value of that. So bag and boarding them will help protect them. And then you can actually get long boxes that are made for magazines. You can get them at your local comic book shop. You can get them off Amazon, and you can actually stand them up with a bag and board and then put them all in a box together.
Okay, Rod had all the words, and he knows more about that than I do, so I'm going to defer to Rod's answer. Look, Scott, you need to buy a lotto ticket. More income, graciously gifted a membership, and doesn't get to pick who it is, and it picks Scott. Scott has got one of these before. And no, you cannot trade it for cash, buddy. You better be at the member live next Thursday. I better see you there next Thursday. We're doing store reviews next Thursday, guys, for the $1.99 and up members. No trading, Scott. No trading. Leo Lees wants to know, what does a typical work week look like for each of you? Do you have a schedule you follow or just fly by the seat of your pants?
I work every day. And I put out videos 3 times a week, and sometimes we call them extra videos, where I might put out an extra video on a Sunday or a Tuesday. So I always have to make sure that I have those ready to go. Sometimes I edit the same day that the video is going out, which I try not to do. And then I list every day. And I try to get the items that are in my video either ready to go that night for auction, or they will be live later that day, or at least the next day. And I source a lot, and I go to the post office every day, but I also homeschool my daughter, and have to take care of the house too. So some days things get pushed around. So I know when certain things I want to do and go visit and travel and film. But it's not like I have a, wake up. And sometimes, if you have a lot to pack, I'll pack up late at night, or you wake up early and you pack. But like they said, it's fun. And this is the most fun I've had of a job. I mean, you work for yourself. What can be better? I'm, the only employee. I'm always getting employee of the month. So I don't really have like a schedule, but I know what I need to get done. And YouTube is priority of making sure I get those videos out to at least 3 times a week. And then everything kind of circles around that. And listing every day on eBay helps too, I think.
For me, there's no set schedule. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a caregiver to my mom. She'll be 81 in a couple weeks. And so really it all depends on what's going on with her. But I do have live sales every Thursday. So I prep for those usually right after I have shipped out my items from the previous live sale. So I'm taking photographs. I'm thinking of my my thumbnail for my lives. I'm trying to do my Instagram promos, and it's all just kind of always throughout the day, every day, just kind of interspersing it wherever I can, basically. And that's how I have to do it. But there is a cycle. There is a certain cycle. I have the sales on Thursdays, I invoice on Fridays and Saturdays. I ship on Mondays and Tuesdays. So there is a bit of a cycle there. Yeah.
So my schedule's been really screwed up because I just got married, and I'm leaving for my honeymoon this weekend. And so I'm all over the place recently, but typically what I normally do here is I always ship out my items first thing in the morning, because if I don't ship items, that's the first thing that can get my account suspended. So that's going to be I always prioritize that the highest. I try to batch my photos early in the day too. So I take 30, 40 items, take photos real fast, so I have them on my phone, and then the rest of the days mainly for editing videos and for listing. So if I'm going to take a break from editing videos for YouTube, I will list for an hour or two, take a break from there, switch back and forth. Also, too, at the end of the day, I always make sure you try to clean up your area and then get your items set up for the next day. That's the biggest thing that's going to help you to hit the ground rolling the next day, because how many times have you found yourself standing in front of your death pile picking items that you want to list, and you stand there for 5, 10, 20 minutes because you don't know what to take or what you want to list? So pick those the night before, get those set up on your photo station, so the next day you just hit the ground rolling.
Yeah, so for me, I put out videos twice a week on both my channels. So I put out 4 videos a week, and that is also a priority for me. So like Sunday, I work 7 days a week. Sunday, I record my research videos, or if it's like a talking one, and then every Monday I always record a what sold video. Every morning I list drafts, I in items that have sold on other platforms. So that's and it's pretty much, it's 7 days a week. Nothing would happen. Like if we go out on the boat or something and I don't do it, I just would do it either when I got home or the next morning, which is the nice thing about this. So I make sure all my drafts are put up for that Lynn is listing. We do a whatnot sale 5 days a week. I was doing it 6 days, 5 days a week. So we are live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard every day except for today, because we are here, and we have been taking either Saturday or Sunday off as well. So that is every single night pretty much I am live except for one. during the week. So I'm like super busy. I've been making time to make resin. I didn't do any today or yesterday though. And yeah, so I have an assistant. I hired a full-time assistant. She does my pulling. She does my packing. I do help her on Mondays because it's heavy. So I am in here with her helping on Mondays. My daughter, my 21-year-old, does the shipping for Whatnot. So the thing, she's starting nursing school in a week. So our whole world might be upheaved here soon. And we might have to adjust where either like she does some cataloging too. So I think as a content creator, like it's the full-time job. So for those of us that are doing all these videos, we've got YouTube is a full-time job, eBay is a full-time job, Whatnot is a full-time job. So I've got 3 full-time jobs, but I have people helping. So it's hectic. I guess it's fly by the seat of my pants, but I have things I know I need to do. So like this week I've got to go thrifting again because I need more content for my thrifting channel. So I know like things I have to do and I do those first. But yeah, that I just talked in circles, I feel like. All right. Another opinion-based question. This is why we do the panels, because you're going to get different questions. And Miss Lisa asked on Facebook, and she came over here to YouTube too. What is the best label printer? Here we go.
Rollo.
Rollo.
Rollo is number 1. There's no opinion. That's a fact.
I don't have one, but I agree because I'm going to get one myself.
So you have to get one, and then get the labels off of Amazon.
Oh my God.
Than buying it
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my goals. Getting a Rollo.
It's going to change your life.
We have something else for you. Go ahead, Rod.
Off Nova is one that Kat turned me on to, and it's literally like $100 on Amazon, and it can print stickers. It does great work. She uses a backup, but I've been using it after mine crapped out on me, and it's been working great.
And it's less than $100, guys. It's less than $100. New on Amazon.
It doesn't work wireless though. If you have a Mac, that's the only thing I would say. But it does. But I just plug it in my Mac.
It does wireless for Windows.
Yeah, Windows it does.
I have a Dymo, so my Dymo is my main one. We talked about this last week, I think. I say if it's your first thermal, I would look on Marketplace. I would either get the lower cost one on Amazon for under $100 or look on Marketplace. I got my Dymo for $80 off of Facebook Marketplace, and that's why I have a Dymo. So I'm not like, Dymo, I don't care, because I got it because it was a cheap thermal printer on Facebook Marketplace. And like I've seen a lot of people have Rollos, and then the brother that What the Hales had in their office looked very, very fancy a couple weeks ago. I was, what is that? It looks fancy. So I would say look on Marketplace and find whichever one you can find cheapest. But the Off Nova on Amazon, I have a link in my Amazon links. It's under $100. We use it to print our cute little stickers. If you buy from me on Whatnot, all the cute little thank you stickers are printed on the Off Nova. It is our sticker printer. That is what that one is for. Jackie wants to know, did I put my resin items on Etsy? I have not, because my resin items sell out on Whatnot. Like we have some left over from last night. I can't not like make a ton. I have negative free time, obviously. So, if you guys didn't see, I made like uranium green bowls and trinket boxes that glow, that kind of like copy uranium glass. And I made like a deep purple. I love I'm like so being artsy. Anyways, and I put those supplies on my Amazon because people kept asking me. But I haven't put them on there because I can't keep them in stock. So like, I think we have 5 left over from last night, and I can pretty much guarantee you they'll sell out tomorrow night. And I don't have any new ones made right now. So I can't keep up with them enough. And with mixing colors, I would be worried I couldn't get like that exact color again, if I had to like remake it for Etsy. That would be my concern. So I don't I'm making $2. I'm not trying to sell a ton of them because it's not profitable. It's just fun. Does that make sense? I think hopefully. Yeah. I hope. Has anyone heard when Mercari is going to allow us to print? You can print labels with your thermal printer. So Linda, what you need to do is, and it's not easy, and there are videos on YouTube because that's how I learned how to do it, but you basically just screenshot the picture of the label and then you edit it, cut it out, and print it to 4x6. You can do it. It's just a pain in the butt. And Mercari is the only platform that will not put it to 4x6 size, but you can. Just search on YouTube for how to print Mercari labels on a thermal, and it'll tell you how. You can. It's just like 3 extra steps and a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. Dear Angela says, I haven't listed on Etsy in years. Before they went public, I assume they still have a price to list. It is still 20 cents a listing. 20 cents a listing every 3 months is what their fees are. Dagny, do you want to take this? And do you do calculated shipping?
Yes.
Because I think just one of us needs to answer. So Lisa says, how do you calculate shipping when people live further away and they have to pay more?
I have gotten people like in California say, why is this so expensive? And it's like, because you live in California and I live in Pennsylvania. It's going to be really cheap if you live in New Jersey. And so I think at Christmas time, if I had like something really heavy, I was like, the further you are from Pennsylvania, the higher this is. I don't have any control over shipping. I think some people think that we do have control over how much we're charging for shipping. So I always do calculated shipping. It's never, I don't do free shipping unless it's a counter cross stitch kit and like 100 of them are all free shipping. Then I will do free shipping, but everything is calculated and you just have to, you are going to pay more, especially if it's, 5 pounds and you live in Alaska because I live in Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah, so you just input it and the platform will calculate it. You don't calculate it, the platform.
No, you have to put in, and I also don't think like a mug is 2 pounds because it'll be 10 ounces on your scale. It's going to go over a pound and that rounds up to 2 pounds. It's not like, oh, it's a pound and an ounce and I only pay they round it up to 2. And I think that throws people off too. Like why is it? So I put in if I put on my scale and it's 1 pound, 2 ounces, I put in 2, depending on what it is. You get to, the more you do this, the more you understand how it is. Mm-hmm. And I am better. Like when I first started, oh my God, I was losing money so much. It was terrible. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to pack up everything and then have it all already in boxes. Well, that doesn't last very long. It lasts like a day. So you do get better at, and I would rather over guess it and then send them a little refund back than me be out of the money for it. But yes, definitely do not do flat rate. No, unless it can fit in a padded rated envelope. But then it's not fair to people who live like in the same town as you. I don't know. I do calculate. Stop talking, Dagny. I do calculate.
Yes. Yeah, I do calculated too.
Yeah.
Listen, purple mushrooms. So my mushroom trinket boxes have been the most popular, but I got a custom order for 20 of them. So I won't have any more mushrooms available for about a week and a half or 2 weeks because I got to make 20 and I bought 2 extra. I can only make 3 mushrooms every 24 hours. Resin is not a fast, you don't get instant gratification. You got to wait 24 hours to take it out of the darn mold. And anyway, I will have more purple mushrooms probably in 2 weeks. I'm making 20 for somebody right now. 20 mushrooms of multiple colors. Yeah. Sherry in Dallas wants to know, would you remove your Easter items from eBay after Easter?
No. Nope. I have Christmas up.
Yeah. All holidays, all year.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Everything holidays sell all year round.
Yeah, I would list Easter the day after Easter. It really does sell you around, especially if it's collectible item. Those people are looking throughout the year, and it will continue to sell. Miss Karen says, if you source at a garage or an estate sale or estate sales, where do you go to plan your route, like to decide where you're going?
We don't have estate sales. I am so jealous. I love watching.
You do sometimes. I saw one when I was up there.
And then the garage sales are all clothing. They're all clothing. And I feel so bad when you're just like walking by and you're like, nah, I don't like your stuff, because I don't do clothing. But there, and there's very few church sales now. But I go to live auctions. In-person auction.
You have the bomb live auction.
Yes,
that,
and I'm going to one this weekend. Yes, I'm going to one this weekend, so I'm very excited. And I go to Auction Zip, and you can look at the pictures and see, and that gives you a better chance. So then, if I've also gone to an auction where they're listing all of these coins, and I have gone thrift stores near me, gone shopping and come back because they were still doing it. So I guess I plan it that way, but I don't go to garage or estate sales because we don't have them around here.
I usually, I usually pick the furthest place out and work my way back. But if I'm reading the descriptions of the estate sale or seeing the pictures and that one looks stinking amazing, that's what I'm going to first. And then I'll just kind of figure it out as I go after that. It's kind of more fun for me to be like, okay, where am I going next? While I'm doing it. So, yeah.
So
I try to be
garage sales is what I source. That's my main sourcing other than buying out collection, stuff like that. So there's two apps you can use. There's the garage sale app or the yard sale app there. You can download to your phone, and it will search by, it shows you what's in an X amount radius around you. And you can actually search keywords in there, such as community sale, if you're searching for certain collectibles like comic books or video games, stuff like that. So what I do is I usually search for community sales first, because that's going to give me the highest concentration of sales in a small area, so I can hit as many as I possibly can at one point in time. Or I'm searching for specific items that are going to be higher end items that I'm going to go there an hour before the sale starts and sit outside and be the first person there that gets it. So those are the two biggest things I would say. And I plan my route around those things, and then I hit those key areas first, and then I fan out and see what's around those areas and go from there.
Yeah, and I use the yard sale app too when I am going, which I don't go a ton. I only go thrifting about twice a week. Yard sales is probably only like every other month. And I'll go on the yard sale app and like Rod, I'll find like one or two that I really, really want to go to, like that have the most amount of stuff that I'll like. And then I'll base like a route around that. And I like the yard sale app because it's got the little like dots and you can see where stuff is on the map and you can star it. So I like that as well. I had to put this up. My BFF, Dale Flippin' Fiasco in the house. Her and I and Dagny went shopping when I was up in Pennsylvania, and we had a fun time. So I'm glad Dale stopped by to see us. Miss Karen had another question and said, if you have inventory another reseller might like that you want to liquidate, would you do a junk, here's that word again, a junk drawer style auction?
It might sell and you won't care for how much it sells for.
I feel like Pee Wee Herman with like the word where we need to like, yeah, that's it tonight.
Sure.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Why not?
Usually what I do is if resellers are online, I'm going to try to wholesale it out to other resellers and post it up as and advertise it a reselling thing to buy. I would try to do that locally to just move my inventory. Because if you're trying to liquidate stuff, it's going to be your best bet.
Yeah, I mean, I had people reach out to me on here that get a bunch of jewelry and they don't want to do jewelry. If it's stuff I like and the price is right, I will buy it and have them ship it to me. Mark needs to sell me his jewelry. He just got in a big buyout. Everybody in the chat, tell Mark to sell Kat the jewelry. So if you know someone on here, it's worth reaching out. I do get a lot of like messages that I don't want their stuff. like a whole buyout. What? Patrick's in the house. Trusty huckster. Patrick is in the house. I haven't seen you in a while, Patrick. I don't want to do whole buyouts. Look, it's in writing. He said, okay.
That's a signed contract in my book.
Binding and legal.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do buyouts. But if you watch somebody, like if it's jewelry for me, or like depending, like Rod, maybe like comics and VHSs or something, reach out to people. If you see people here in the in the chats that might know what they're doing, or you can sell it as a reseller lot on eBay. That's an option as well. But if you know somebody that might like it specifically on Instagram, for example, reach out and contact them. All right. We have 10 minutes. I'm going to try and do a quick fire because we have 18 questions. Let's try and answer as quick as we can. Okay. Ready, set, go. Okay, the best software to keep up with your inventory. She said she knows a little about List Perfectly. Okay, anyways, what?
It's hidden around the house. Next.
Yeah, I can answer that one for you.
I was going to say List Perfectly, but I'll let Kat take this one.
List Perfectly or My Reseller Genie. Both of those will manage your inventory for you. Good. Katrina says, how can I sell digital products on eBay as on Etsy?
I don't know.
Can you?
Can you?
You can if you're an approved seller, but to protect the IPs, and the normal person can sell those on eBay. Originally, you could back in the day, but not anymore.
Okay. Mina, My Reseller Genie might be better for you if you don't want listing type and it is lower cost. I do have the Nurse Flipper, all one word, all caps. You get 15% off. 15% off first month. Is there any downside to List Perfectly for those of us that use it?
I don't use it.
I mean, you have to pay a monthly fee, but you're going to make that 10 times over. So,
yeah, I have not found one. I've been using them for 3 years. How do you get a following on eBay?
Well, I think I got my following on eBay because I was on YouTube. I was on Jocelyn's channel and people knew me through there. And then she forced me to start my own YouTube channel, which I'm very thankful she did. And I think that is what has opened people's eyes to my eBay. But I was selling on eBay before I even met them. So I think it's just hard work and keep plugging away.
Yeah, list, and use your platforms and use your hashtags and use your keywords very wisely.
And no feet. Well, maybe.
No feet or anything else.
Depending on the audience you're going for.
Right.
They hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's pretty much it. So
social media is going to be one of the best ways to get a following. So build up Instagram. If you want to do YouTube, do YouTube. If not, just build up Instagram, show what you're selling. To Cathy hit it. Use those hashtags, build up an audience, and yeah. Periwinkle Dreams wants to know if we all wish we had a big place we could put our pets in.
Well, I have a small place. And I will always have pets, definitely.
Rod has his there too.
I have.
Yeah,
I
what
have
do you
a small
have?
zoo. I got 4 pets, so 2 cats, 2 dogs. So I wish I had a
Oh.
bigger place to put more pets in my house, to be honest with you.
Yes, definitely.
We have 4 dogs, 3 cats, 10 chickens, 2 axolotls, and a partridge in a pear tree, and 1 fish.
I don't want to be a downer, but I just lost my kitty at the beginning of the month, so I have no pets at the moment.
And that's
sorry.
very sad. That is sad.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
It is hard. It is.
Lala Mercantile, the watch on Whatnot, you can watch on the computer, but you can't enter the giveaways. I do 6 giveaways a show. You can't enter the giveaways unless you're on a phone or a tablet. Is anyone going to Brinfield?
I would love to.
Nope.
I am not. Have you sourced on Whatnot?
I have not, but I've just watched shows to get ideas.
Same.
I have sourced on there, and it's a great place to source, especially the smaller auctions.
Come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have sourced on there. My last Shriner that sold for $600, I bought on Whatnot for $400. I bought a lot of higher end jewelry pieces off of Whatnot. Bridget wants to know, do you think the economy is affecting resale?
I think the prices are higher in the thrift stores because of that. And I try not to complain about it in my videos, but sometimes it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, the economy is always going to affect anything that has to do with business. But I mean, it's when the economy's up. I mean, when the economy's up, you're going to be at great sales. Economy's down, your sales may hurt a little bit, but it's a great time to source. So there's always an opportunity, no matter what the economy is.
Yeah, I think it is affecting it on some things, but you're also going to have those communities or classes that are still going to buy their collectibles for thousands of dollars, no matter what the economy is doing. Yeah. I don't know what Charlene means. If anybody can, she wants, do reseller stores have to go to live auctions? If you mean on Whatnot, then the answer is yes. But nowhere else you don't have to do it. You can join Whatnot, but to sell you would need to have live sales. I think that's the only thing I can think of. Okay, be quick. How do you organize the items you have listed?
That's funny. No, it is kind of organized. And then there's things that are on display, but I am trying to, like, I put them in a box, wrap them up, and then list it on outside of the box of where they are. So I wish I had done that in the very, very beginning. If I could go back in time, I would say get a lot of shelving units and organize your stuff.
Same as Dagny. I have totes. I know I have categories that I know that only probably make sense to me, but I know where everything is because they're in the totes and they're organized.
I have shelving units, and my totes are labeled A1, A2, A3, A4. Highly recommend that you use clear totes so you can see where totes are empty. You put your inventory back in those later on. And if it's stuff I need to put in a shelf, I put shelf 1, shelf 2, and then just stuff sitting on a shelf.
Yes. So I have A1, A2, plus I have AA1 and AA2 because we have 2 inventory places. And here in the shed, it's all X because I'm weird. So mine are in boxes, on shelves, or in totes that are all labeled.
Oh, yeah. And put a SKU in your listing.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yes. Custom SKU so you know where it's at. Yes, for sure. When do you think you should auction items? I do mostly buy it now.
I do mostly buy it now with best offer on everything. And then I do auction items. Before I was on YouTube, I would see if there was a lot of them. And if there weren't a lot, then I would auction it, but auction it at the lowest price. You are happy. Like if you want $10, don't do 99 cents because you might only sell it for 99 cents. But now what I do is I look if there's a lot of chatter on my videos of like, oh, I really like that water bottle. And then I know to put that up for auction. But I mostly go with my gut.
Same here. Buy it now with auctions sprinkled in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly use buy it now, but if I do run an auction, it's because I'm either trying to get clear out items, so I don't really care about them, or if it's something that I'm going to let the market dictate the price.
Yeah, I do 99% buy it now. I haven't done an auction in over a month. I would say if it's really rare and in demand. Yeah. Really rare is not a reason to auction. It needs to be in demand or you're not going to get bid. Yeah. Yvonne put it up here, guys. We only need 159 more people to get Cathy to 1,000. There are 428 of you here. Please go subscribe to Cathy the Kitschy Cat. 159 people, and we have 1 minute, so go fast. We'll go I'm trying to get through these. What is a good average sales price per item with less than 500 items on eBay? I think that's totally depending on what you want.
Right. Subjective.
Yeah.
It's not an extra money you need to make is what is going to be your sales item.
Right.
We're going to make it through these questions. I wanted to put this up. Whatnot released a buyer appreciation giveaway feature. I think it was released yesterday. I know it was because I did one last night at the end of my auction. But there are a lot of stipulations and regulations to that, and the buyers can go fill out a form and still be entered to win because of legality. So I'm probably not going to do any more of them. It's just super, super complicated. I love the idea of it, but it's hard. Teresa said, we only have 4 more questions. Has anyone been having glitches on eBay? I have an item shipped and delivered and it still says I need to ship it. And then I click on it and it says I have no items to ship.
I've had glitches where I've had like sold 3 things and you do one label and then you put the tracking and then it says it hasn't shipped yet, but then eventually it goes away. Oh, hi. Oh. But that if there's too much of a glitch, I would just set aside the 2 hours and contact eBay and get down to business of what's wrong.
Yeah, I
Yes.
haven't been dealing with eBay lately, so I haven't had that.
Yeah, and I have not noticed those. Rod, you need to come back. The next question is for you. Where are you at? Does anyone know about food sales on Whatnot? I don't know what the regulations are. They would probably be your local like regulations, but I know they do food sales
You can
on
sell
Whatnot.
food, like cheese and stuff?
Yeah, like your snacks and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Kathy gets a
Rod.
lobster, fresh lobster from
Thank
me.
you, Rod. The last question is for you. I'm glad you're back. Where are you going on your honeymoon?
So I am going to Barcelona, Spain, and then we're actually going to Florence, Italy, and Rome, Italy. So
Wow.
if anyone in the chat knows, can I source over there? Because I will source on my honeymoon over in Europe. Make sure she's not around, but yeah, I will source over in Europe. So let me know if you guys know if there's any thrift shops or like markets over there that I can hit up. So
That's exciting.
All right.
How long is your honeymoon?
it's going to be 10 days. The whole entire trip's 10 days, but it's day traveling there and day traveling back. So 8 days.
That's a nice long trip. Yeah. Nice.
So looking forward to it. Exciting.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, Jocelyn does sell her coffee.
Yep.
Jocelyn does sell her coffee.
That's true.
I sold Bubble Boy coffee because I don't drink it, and Joel sent me a present. Sorry, Joel. I sold Joel. No, I gave it away. I didn't sell it. I gave it away.
Kat,
I gave it away.
Who was doing buy me White Claw on Whatnot?
I don't know.
Dana? No. Someone was doing that. They had it in there. Buy me a White Claw was like an added thing. Someone on the show was doing that. Yeah, I forget who it was.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to make Dagny and Cathy big. So Cathy is now 133 away. So hopefully by in the morning, if you're watching this after, go still subscribe. We need to get her to 1,000. So I'm going to make Dagny and Cathy big real quick. And then Cathy, you have to make pre-recorded videos if we get you to 1,000. That's like the rule.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make everybody big and let them say bye. I'll let you guys know who's coming on. And here is Dagny.
Thank you very much, Kat and Rod, for having me on. I hope you had fun tonight. I know I did. It was nice seeing you again, Cathy. And you can see me on YouTube and on Instagram and, of course, eBay.
Perfect. Here's Miss Cathy.
Thank you, Kat and Rod, for having me. It was a big honor, really good timing too. Something really to look forward to after some rough time earlier this month. And so I really appreciate it. I have sales usually on Thursdays at 3. And then the second Wednesday of every month, I don't know why I didn't bring this up. I have a sale with Yvonne Thrifty Rich. Sorry, Yvonne Thrifty Rich. And Kate, Follow That Bug Vintage. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of kits usually, obviously, and been really enjoying that. And I'm trying to get back into Whatnot. And also we'll be working on, like you said, the pre-recorded videos in the coming months. So, and I'm on eBay.
Perfect. All right, Rod, what do you have going on?
So I just dropped a new video today. So go check it out on my YouTube channel. Guys, please go subscribe if you're not. You guys can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. As always, I will answer every single question that we can answer there. So just send me a message. My inbox is always open. So,
all right, I'm putting a link, but it's hold on. Can I change it? Hold on. Wait 1 second. schedule. Oh, I can't publish. Okay, public now. Okay, I'm posting a link. I just put up a new catch treasure hunting video now. I didn't want to give you the link and then it's like, you can't watch it for 10 minutes. So there's the link. New catch treasure hunting. I found some great stuff. I literally just this second published it. Next week, Rod is on his honeymoon, so he will not be here. So we are flipping it. So tonight it is Rod and us three ladies. Next week, it is me with Mike, January House, Dan, and Joe Philly Picker. So it will be me with three guys next week. So the tables are turning. So it will be fun because Dan hasn't been on with us before with Mike and Joe, and those three are like thick as thieves. So it'll be an interesting show, I assure you. I'm going to be overpowered. I just put out that video on catch treasure hunting. Thursday will be what sold on the Nurse Flipper. Tomorrow and Thursday are jewelry on Whatnot. And Friday, don't forget, if you like vintage aprons, all the pictures are there. They're from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. They are absolutely amazing, beautiful vintage aprons. There are 52 of them, 52 vintage aprons. And they are $5 starts. Yeah, my first not jewelry sale, except for Dalton's art. We did have a Dalton art sale on Whatnot, except for Dalton's art. So thank you all so much. Again, go subscribe to both of these ladies and Rod if you are not. Hopefully we'll get Cathy by tomorrow morning. We can do it. We can do it. Marsha's saying we only need 53 more people.
Really?
We can definitely get 53 people by tomorrow morning because we do get rewatch. We do get rewatch. So I will see you guys next week with the three guys. It will be interesting, I assure you. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. We will see you next week. Dagny and Cathy, thank you. I appreciate it. Rod,
thank you.
Have fun on your honeymoon. Find some stuff. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.